Hi class, this is JilMac, short for JilMac Meneman. My website is JilMac.com. Students know they can give me a call if they have any questions. And what I want to talk to you today about is links, clickable links. So first let's go to out to our CCV website. Okay, so here we are on our CCV website, and I'm going to go into computer applications. When I get into computer applications, we happen to be working on assignment 3, so I will open assignment 3. And in here, out on my Google website, I have assignment 3. So this is our assignment 3. Let me make this a little bit bigger. And you can make it a little bit bigger, and you can rearrange your windows. I'm making this a little bit bigger. This is a website, so anytime you're in a website, I happen to be on the Chrome browser, but I can click these 3 dots here, and it is up to 100%, but I'd like to make it a little bit bigger, and maybe even a little bit bigger. So now I've got this up to 125%. So in our assignment 3, we see that we have various links. A link is by default blue and underlined. And when you cursor over it, instead of it being a pointer, your cursor now becomes a finger. So you have a little hand with a finger. I'm going to do that again. When I move off of a link, my pointer or my mouse is an arrow. And as I cursor over a link, that arrow becomes a finger. And I also want you to notice in the lower left-hand corner, so down here in this lower left-hand corner, as I cursor over a link, by default, it's going to pop up and tell you where it's going. When I cursor over the handouts page, it shows me that I'm going out to down here in the lower left-hand corner. I want you to watch that. It says that I'm going out to sites.google.com. It's a website, JilMac Training, Vermont Adult Learning, CA Handouts. So here are the handouts page. When I click on this, it brings me to, it either opens another tab. In this case, this opened another tab, and it brought up the CA for Computer Applications handouts. Notice how I still have my CA assignments up. So when I did this particular link, it opened it in a new tab, so that I can go back and forth on these tabs. When I cursor down, I have all of these different handouts, and you can see that I haven't yet posted my assignment 3 because that's back from 2006, a year ago. If I had just posted it as soon as I upload it after I add this video, it's going to have a November 7th time date stamp. On here, these are all on Google Docs, and so I can view them. You know, you can view this. Once again, this is a link, and it opens up this assignment 3, and notice how this is the old one because it has a 2006 date. And notice how I open this in a new tab also. So I can go back to my assignments, I can go to my handouts, and from there I can go to my computer applications. When I want to, I can close it. So those are some of the options. Suppose you didn't have an option to view it in a new page. You could right-click it. You can open a link in a new tab. You could open a link in a new window. You can open a link in incognito, means it's not going to follow you. I could save the link, or I could copy the link address. I could even copy this link address, and I could go to a brand new tab by clicking over here, and I can paste it. This allows me to see exactly where it's going. Sometimes when you cursor over a link, it doesn't show you where it's going, but if you right-click it, once again, I can right-click it, open it in a new link, open it in a new window, do it incognito, save the link, or copy the link and address. So you have all of those options by right-clicking. Most times when you're in any computer application, if you want to right-click on something it will show you your options. If I right click up here, I'm going to have a different menu than if I right click on a view. So when I right click on a view, I can open the link in a new tab. When I'm up here and I'm not on a link, I have a different menu. So right clicking, whether you're doing it on a Windows machine or you're doing it on a Mac machine, when you right click from the mouse, you have these options. Okay, so that's what a link is. Links are blue and underlined. Now sometimes we get the designers and the designers decide they don't want to make it underlined or they want to make it green instead of blue. But by default, links, when you're going somewhere else or when you're going to do something else, they are blue and underlined. When you cursor over them, they sometimes turn a different color. And sometimes if you've already visited that link, it will be in a different color so you know where you've been. Now, if I want to add a link to a word processing document, let's go to CCV, and suppose I want to create, suppose I want to open Word. So to open Word, I can click on CCV email account. It's going to open my Outlook, so I can do it I can create a link in an email. And suppose I wanted to create a new email. So here it is. It's from me, and I'm just going to send it to myself. So I'll send it to jill@jilmac.com. And I can add the subject. Please, oops, I got my cap locks on. Please visit my web page. Now my web page happens to be http:// So HTTP stands for Hypertext Protocol. And I want to go out to JilMac.com. That's a website. Sometimes if you put a space after a website, it will automatically create a link. Sometimes you have to say www.jilmac.com. However, www is only for some websites, it's not for everything. So if it doesn't automatically come up as a link when you press the space bar, then you can block it. You can go down to the link icon. Here's insert a hypertext. And we want it to go to JilMac.com. So you can insert a link. So that now makes it underlined. And notice how it brings up some information about my website. That's how you do it in an email. If we were going to do it in a Word document, we could go up to Office 365. We could just create a new Word file. We could just grab a blank document. And in our word processing file, we're going to say, please go to my website. And I'm going to try it with the http://jilmac.com. And as soon as I press the space bar, that automatically knows, because you have an http:// that that's a website. If I had just put in JilMac.com and put a space after it, that doesn't know it's a website. If I put in www.ccv.edu space, that says it's a website. But know that not all websites start with www. Most can be either HTTP or www, but just know that Some are World Wide Web and some are not. So that's how you do it in word processing. I could also, if you want to say, go to JilMac's website, and you don't want to see the web address, I could block JilMac. And when I block JilMac, it brings up some styles here, but I could also say insert, and I want to insert a link. And this link says I'm going to display the text JilMac, but I want to go to http JilMac.com, insert, and web pages, it doesn't matter if you have upper and lower case. That just makes it for readability. Notice how it underlined and made blue this link. Now, if I cursor over this, notice how in Word I get a pop-up that tells me where it's going to go. And I also, down in my lower left-hand corner, is going to show you the website where it goes. So if I use this one in the lower left-hand corner, it shows me where it's going to go. If I use this one in the lower left-hand corner, it shows me where it's going to go. If I cursor over JilMac, it doesn't appear in the lower left-hand corner. You're going to see me using links because I want you to get comfortable looking at links. Some English people and history people don't like all these big long links. And if we were to go to our computer applications class, look at how long this link is. I'm going to Control-C, copy it. Then I'm going to go out to my Microsoft Office document, and I'm going to say, I'm going to do a Control-V and paste that. If I put a space after it, it knows because it says HTTPS, and HTTPS stands for Hypertext Protocol Secure. That S means it's a secure website. This, just HTTP, is not a secure, not that it's not secure, but you're not using HTTPS technology. Anytime you're inputting personal data, make sure to look up and make sure that that website says HTTPS. Just like you don't cross the road without looking right and looking left, you need to know where you're going when you click a link. So you want to be aware of these web addresses. I know a lot of English and history people try to cover them up, try to say they're not important, but they are. It tells you where you're going. You're going to a secure website, you're going to Google Sites, you're going to an individual site. The name of that individual's account is JilMac Training. That's what I named it. It's under my computer applications information, and it's assignment 3. So that web address tells you a lot of information. And links are very important. So if I have this website and I wanted to take this link and I wanted to put it in Moodle, let's go out to Moodle. So here's CCV. Let's go out to our computer applications class. And here we are in Moodle. Suppose I wanted to put a general question. And I want to add a discussion topic and I want to call it links. Okay, so to add a clickable link, you want to, 1, enter the URL address. Example, http://JilMac.com. 2, block the URL address. 3, click the link icon. 4, paste the link into the URL field. 5. Your link should now be blue and underlined. Example. So I'm going to do this again. http://JilMac.com. I am going to block the URL address. That's in step 2. As soon as I block this address, if I come up here, notice how this link icon is grayed out. You know, I can't click it, it doesn't do anything. But if I block something, as soon as I take my finger off the mouse key, this link is now activated. And when I cursor over it, it now says I can insert or edit a link. So when I click it, the window for that link comes up. I put in the URL address. I should be able to, oops, no, I didn't have that in memory, so let's delete that. I want it to be http://JilMac. I can block copy this. I can put in the title, the same thing, and I can click the insert key. Now JilMac is blue and it is underlined. So it's blue, it's not underlined. And so I want to say when you cursor over it, it will be underlined. Okay, so it's now underlined. And all links in Moodle, word processing, spreadsheets, PowerPoints or presentations, should be linkable. So I'm going to post this to the forum. And when we look at this links, we will now have the directions and we will have an example. Notice as I cursor over this, my cursor, which is a big arrow, becomes a finger. It becomes a finger, and you can now look in the lower left-hand corner, and this is linkable. So make sure that your links are linkable in your word processing documents, in your spreadsheets. If I were to do this, and I wanted to know, here is the link to this document. Here I am in a spreadsheet. I'm up here in Google Spreadsheets rather than Excel. So I'm going to block this. I'm going to say Control-C. I'm going to come down into my document. I can paste it. Here is a linkable. And I'm going to block this. And I'm going to go over to the link icon in Google Docs, in Google Spreadsheets, and I'm going to click that. Now that is linkable. If I took this and just copied this whole, if I copy this whole cell and I paste it here, it's a little bit longer so that you can see more of the link. But the actual link is actually all of this. So here it is in spreadsheets, here it is in Word, here it is in Moodle, and really everything you do has a way to link. So thank you very much.